I would invite the folks that are here to speak about Salina Media Connection. If you'd like to come forward and speak to the commission.
Hello there. My name is Zach Bloomquist. I currently live in Los Angeles, California, but I grew up here in Salina. And I wanted to speak today to, explain my support and relationship with Salina Media Connection and how it's kind of like started my entire, from my education to my career now as a video editor and cinematographer in Los Angeles. I started at Salina Media Connection when I was 13 years old and volunteered there, and the volunteers there put up with me as a very hyperactive 13-year-old child, which I'm very grateful for, because it gave me a real leg up and an ability to take on video editing projects and cinematography projects throughout college and work professionally as a video editor. And we don't have resources like that everywhere here in the Midwest. And I didn't stay in Salina, but I come back often. I was just working there today. And it's an amazing team, and I'm proud of the city of Salina for supporting it for this many years. 13 was 14 years ago for me, and it's great that I can go back there and it's still like home. So I just want to explain how important that is to kids in our community and ask that you continue to support it as you have been doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bloomquist. It's really good to hear from people who have gone on to successful careers and use this as a springboard. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. My name is Francis Flax, 624 Starlight Drive, Salina, Kansas. And I'm here speaking on behalf of the Salina Media company through a business, the Salina Liberty Indoor Football Team. We have the Salina Liberty is a locally owned 6 businessmen from the community that own the Liberty. We've been in existence for several years now, and without local support, and we have over 200 local sponsors in our community, and if you've never been to a game, you ought to come to one. It's amazing the support that we have. But as an organization, we strive to do all or the majority of our business locally, and that includes the video taping of our games, which are on YouTube every week that we play. And these people do an amazing job for us. We get rave reviews from the different teams throughout the United States that we play against. And by using them, we stay local. We tried one year to go to an outside organization to film our games, and it was a disaster. And what I see is the pride that they take and the training that they give. Some of these people that are filming our games this year, I can remember when they were running around, doing odd jobs and stuff for the Salina Media Group. And so I'm just here to thank you for having me, and please consider them to stay the way they are within the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Flax.
Hello, I'm Heidi Fireham-Smith, and I am from here in Salina. And I'm Chloe's mom, first and foremost, and I'm the founder of the Love Chloe Foundation. We're based right here in Salina, and we help families all across the central Kansas area with when they have a child diagnosed with cancer. We're able to step up and help them financially and with other resources so that they're not kind of stuck in the dark. So what we do in the community and the fundraisers that we put on are integral in our support for these families. We rely a lot on in-person events. This year alone, we have our golf and gala coming up in October, and we have a run coming up in July 17th. But last year with COVID, we were kind of knocked back because we couldn't have in-person events. And so when it came time to have our annual golf and gala, which typically brings in about 300 or 350 people, and our last in-person gala brought in over $100,000 in the community. So this was a big deal for us. So when we realized we weren't going to be able to have an in-person event, we were kind of stuck in the dark. And we reached out to Salina Media Connection, and they had open arms, and they said, we'll help you, we'll do a live streaming event. And we were able to continue on. We were still able to do our gala in a modified way. We had to go virtual, so they helped us with putting our videos together and making sure the live streaming worked seamlessly on YouTube. It was a huge part in what we did, and we just wouldn't have been able to have an event without them stepping up. They also have been able to share about our events coming up and all that, and so they really made a huge difference in what we did, and without that, we wouldn't have been able to bring in what we did, and we wouldn't have been able to help as many families as we have over the last year, because cancer didn't stop, and we still had lots of families needing help. But I appreciate you letting us speak, and hopefully you'll continue to support Salina Media Connection. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you on behalf of pediatric cancer patients and their families everywhere for your work with Love Chloe.
Hello and good afternoon. I'm Eric Frank, the Development Director for Catholic Charities of Northern Kansas. Our home office is here in Salina at 1500 South 9th. It's referred to as the old Dillon's building, and we also have offices in Hayes and Manhattan. And we serve 31 counties of north and northwestern Kansas. We have several different services to help children and families, from financial and housing assistance to basic needs such as food, shelter, and clothing, also diapers. We have counseling services and adoption and pregnancy services and immigration legal services. And we help people all over those 31 counties with those services. And we helped probably about 7,000 families and children last year. And what I'm here today to tell you about is we normally put an event together each year. It's our annual fundraiser, and it raises about $300,000. And it's an in-person event. And last year with the pandemic, we were really just paralyzed on what we could do because we couldn't do an in-person event. And after several meetings and discussion, we reached out to the Salina Media Connection to ask for help to see if they couldn't do something to help us do something online. And they helped us, just like the previous story, they were just incredible and jumped on board right away to help us put it all together. I mean, it was actually a TV production, and we're nonprofit staff. We don't have that, we don't have the resources, we don't have the experience to do something like that. And they put it all together for us with a lot of work, a lot of meetings. And we were pretty stressed about losing that extra funding. And after what they did and what they helped us do, I really don't know what we would have done without their help. I really don't know. We were pretty worried about it. And we actually went over our goal. I think we raised about $325,000 just because of what they did. But they also helped us reach out to people in several other counties of our service area that tuned in to watch our event to see what all we were doing. But that probably helped us raise even more money. So I'm just here to say, please help Salina Media Connection do what they do, because they've helped a lot of families and children as far as our services are concerned, and it was critical to what we do. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Mr. Frank. Is there anyone else that would like to speak about Salina Media Connection?
My name is Colin Crowder. I'm here in Salina. One of the main things I want to talk about in support of Salina Media Connection was the work that we do for Friday Night Football, which is separate from the Liberty football. So Friday Night Football, we film the Salina Central and Salina South football games, and I'm one of the co-hosts alongside Charles Ross. I have just a great production that we put on. And one of the things I want to talk about was the Player of the Week that we do at the very end. So when we have the Player of the Week, either be South or Central, win or lose, we get a player up there, we interview them. we even get them a plaque about whatever game they played in and what they did. But one thing I thought about was in addition to even interviewing the coaches after the game, we're the only on-camera guest presentation that we have for Salina and those kids, where the paper may get a quote from a kid like afterwards, and where the radio does interview the kids, but you have to wait till the next morning to do the coaches show. We're actually the only on-camera presentation that other people have. And in addition to that, we've had teams from Emporia, Valley Center, whatnot. There was even a few years ago where Salina Central played Lawton, Oklahoma. And, a lot of people from Lawton, Oklahoma couldn't come to Salina Stadium to see that, but they were able to watch that on either Access or online on YouTube. So that was just some of the things I was wanting to think of. In addition, with having kids on camera, I think it's really cool that if somebody was going to be recruiting, say, John Doe or something, a player for Salina South, Salina Central, and they want to see how these kids present themselves in the media, because especially when you get up to junior college, NCAA levels, you are being interviewed on camera, either on paper and stuff like that. So that's another way for kids or for parents or coaches to see, recruiters to see, how does this kid prepare in the kind of eyes of the media. So I just think that just the availability that we have and just how what we do is so unique that Salina doesn't do, whether it be on camera or whatnot. And I think just the access of Salina Media Connection is so, no pun intended, is so cool. Just mostly because of those things. So just want to have support for them. In addition to my own show I do with card videos and stuff like that, I do a lot of work with the arena in Salina, Kansas, and that kind of brings business in there too. I've had people mention that they see my videos and such, so just want to offer my support for them. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crowder.
David Norland, 608 East Republic, and I'm glad to hear representation of the variety of programming and services that Salina Media Connection has offered. I know, commissioners, that you probably know what my primary interest is in, and it is in public dialogue. I also, in thinking about the benefits that SMC has provided, or Access TV, whatever you would like to call it, over time, whatever trips off the tongue. For example, during COVID times, we have references to events that could not have happened and gained attention had it not been for Salina Media Connection. One of those, of course, was the election we held in November. And the candidates were available online so that people could go on demand on YouTube or on the channel, and if they wanted to, find out about those candidates. I'm sure that there's no group of people in Salina who are more aware of the fact that there's an election coming up than perhaps you are. So I'll spare any other editorial comment, but that service is there for people to assess the candidates that they want to lead them in city, state, and whatever. One other brief comment, and again, as I have said, I think that the most important thing for me about Salina Media Connection is the fact that it provides an avenue for citizens to actually talk to one another. Whether it's an individual putting forth their own viewpoint on a show, or whether it's people around a table putting their viewpoints forward, or a panel, whatever the format. But I was made particularly aware of that, and I'm very conscious that I may be passing on gossip. So I will tell you that I have heard that a group of Salina citizens attended the school board. They were very concerned about teaching critical race theory, which is not taught K through 12. It's a matter of university study, and a recent one at that, at a particularly critical moment in our nation's and this city's history. It is rumored that they also broke into the executive session and demanded to be heard. From my perspective, that's on the basis of misinformation that's now being spread nationally and locally. And although I have not talked to the staff about this, what I could envision are two or a set of individuals who have differing views about that. And I think it's very critical to talk about that after the celebration and recognition of Juneteenth, that we've got to come together. And if there is a place where people can get other perspectives, I think the Salina Media Connection is the place that would happen. But in order to do it, Commissioners, as you know, it requires adequate funding. And no doubt we'll be talking about that later. So thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Norland.